Greetings, we'll cover a few details about Mikhail Kalashnikov, his life in a succinct manner. Here is a short rundown of his early years, education, career, persona, accolades, Mikhail Kalashnikov's books, Kalashnikov-designed weapons, and demise. Mikhail Timofeevich Kalashnikov was a Soviet and Russian lieutenant general who also designed small guns and was an inventor, military engineer, author, and writer. He is most known for creating the PK machine gun and RPK light machine gun, as well as the AK-47 assault rifle and its upgrades, the AKM and AK-74. According to Kalashnikov, who self-taught himself to tinker, he used his natural mechanical aptitude and knowledge of weapons to create weapons that were widely used on battlefields. Also known as Mikhail Timofeevich Kalashnikov, famous as inventor of AK-47 assault rifle, PK machine gun and RPK light machine gun. Born November 10, 1919, Kuria, Russia. Died December 23, 2013, Izhevsk, Russia. He was among the first individuals to be interred in the Federal Military Memorial Cemetery. Father, Timofey Alexandrovich Kalashnikov. Mother, Alexandra Frolovna Kalashnikova. Siblings, Emil, Ludwig, Robert. Spouse, Ekaterina Kalashnikova. Children, Viktor Kalashnikov, Elena Krasnovskaya, Nelly Kalashnikova, Natalia Kalashnikova. Height, 1.61 meter. Alexandra and Timofey Kalashnikov welcomed Mikhail Timofeevich Kalashnikov into the world on November 10, 1919 in Kuria, Russia. He was the 17th kid in a family of 19. His family was uprooted to a settlement in the Siberian Tomsk Oblast region in 1930, after losing their possessions to the Soviet Union's collectivization program. During their first winter there, his father passed away, and shortly after, his mother got remarried. He was taught how to operate a gun at a young age since his peasant family had to utilize hunting to supplement their livelihood. He also enjoyed both poetry and machinery. He had a number of illnesses as a child and was on the verge of passing away when he was 6. After finishing 7th grade, he quit school and hitchhiked back to Kuria to work as a tractor mechanic, where he discovered his passion for engineering. Mikhail Kalashnikov enlisted in the Red Army in 1938. Due to his tiny stature and engineering background, he was hired as a tank technician and then promoted to tank commander. During training, he played around with machinery and created a number of minor weapons that attracted the notice of his superiors. He was hospitalized from 1941 to 1942 as a result of wounds he received during the Battle of Bryansk. He overheard a soldier in the hospital lamenting the shortcomings of Soviet guns. He made the decision to design a new weapon for the Soviet army at that moment. He created a submachine gun with a few buddies, and even though army superiors rejected it, his talent was not overlooked. He began designing automatic weapons in 1943, after being hired as a gun designer by the Izhevsk machine building plant. He developed a gas-powered carbine in 1944, using a novel cartridge. He put his new design, Miktim, in a competition for assault rifles in 1946, but came in last. The AK-47 was created in 1947, after he was successful in developing his assault rifle design. The designation AK-47 stood for Automat Kalashnikova, or an automatic Kalashnikov rifle, and the year of its development, 1947. He made a permanent shift to Izhevsk, Udmurtia, in 1949 after the Soviet Army started carrying the AK-47 assault rifle as regular equipment. He continued to work on updated and enhanced versions of the AK-47, from 1949 until 1963, with the AKM, RPK Kalashnikov, and PK being the most prominent. They became the weapon of choice for military forces and guerrilla armies, due to its durable construction, straightforward design, ease of use, and low maintenance in any environment. From the icy wastelands of Siberia to the scorching deserts of Africa, he and his firearm quickly became renowned. He received the title Doctor of Technical Sciences in 1971 and joined 16 academic institutions. Since the AK-47's actual maker, Izmash, did not patent the weapon until 1997, imitation versions of the weapon were produced and offered for sale all over the world, occasionally for as low as $15. Only 10% of the over 100 million AK-47s sold annually were produced by Izmash. Mikhail asserted that the AK-47 was a creation for national service and not for financial gain. However, it's thought that he kept 30% of the earnings from his grandson's German business, Marken Marketing International, which created goods bearing the Kalashnikov trademark, including knives, vodka, umbrellas, and other items. He supported the UN's Control Arms campaign to end the smuggling of small arms in 2006, after being horrified to see his firearms in the hands of thieves and kids. He even claimed that he was not to blame for the guns' unchecked global proliferation. The AK-47 trademark belonged to his family up until 2016, when it was litigated away by the Kalashnikov concern, formerly Izmash. Towards the end of his life, Mikhail started to doubt the creation of his invention, as the AK-47 and its black market variants started to be utilized in terrorist acts all over the world. The first marriage of Mikhail Kalashnikov was to Ekaterina Danilovna Ostakova of the Altai Krai. He wed Ekaterina Viktorovna Moisaeva for a second time, 1921 to 1977. She was an engineer who provided her spouse with a lot of technical drawing work. Their 4 children included son Victor, who also rose to prominence as a small arms designer, and daughters Nelly, Elena, and Natalia. Mikhail Kalashnikov's family held the rights to the AK-47 trademark until the Kalashnikov concern won a case to have the trademark's registration revoked on April 4, 2016. He received the renowned Stalin Prize, USSR State Prize, and Order of the Red Star from the Soviet Union in 1949 for developing the AK-47. He received the Lenin Prize, one of the most esteemed honors bestowed by the Soviet Union, in 1964. His first international honor, the Belarusian Order of Honor, came to him in 1999. The Kalashnikov Museum, which bears his name, opened in Izhevsk, Russia, in 2004. He was awarded the highest honor bestowed by the Russian Federation, the Order of St. Andrew, in 2008. He received the highest honorific title bestowed by the Russian Federation, Hero of the Russian Federation, in 2009. The Russian Post released a stamp in his honor in 2014. A bronze statue of him that stands 30 feet tall was presented in Moscow in 2017. Mikhail Kalashnikov was a prolific author who belonged to the Russian Authors Union. His debut book, The Arms Designer Notes, was released in 1992. His autobiography, From a Stranger's Doorstep to the Kremlin Gates, A Word from the AK Man, was released in 1997. He co-wrote the autobiographical book The Gun That Changed the World in 2006. Over the course of his career, Kalashnikov created 150 different types of small arms. Of them, the most well-known are AK-47, AKM, AK-74, AKS-74U, AK-74M, AKS-74, AK-101, AK-102, AK-103, AK-104, AK-105, AK-12, RPK, RPK-74, PK, PKM, PKP, Saiga semi-automatic rifle. After a protracted illness, Kalashnikov was admitted to a hospital on November 17, 2013, in Izhevsk, the capital of Udmurtia, where he resided. At age 94, he passed away from a gastrointestinal hemorrhage, on December 23, 2013. Patriarch Kirill received a letter from Kalashnikov 6 months prior to his passing, and the message was published by the Russian daily newspaper, Izvestia, in January 2014. He said in the letter that he was experiencing spiritual pain about whether or not he was to blame for the fatalities brought on by the weapons he invented. He writes, "I keep having the same unanswered question: if my rifle claimed people's lives, then can it be that I, a Christian and an Orthodox believer, was responsible for their deaths?" In the letter that was released. In his thank you letter, the Patriarch stated that Kalashnikov was an example of patriotism and a good attitude toward the country. Regarding the creation of the rifle and who should be held accountable for the deaths caused by it, Kirill continued, "The Church has a well-defined position. When the weapon is defense of the motherland, the Church supports its makers and the military, which employ it.